I'm going to share with you the story of a teenager, a young girl who stayed with her parents in a small Indian town. She had just appeared for her 10th grade exams, the first board exam of her life. She was a fairly good student who topped her class till the ninth grade, and so she expected to get a good result. But to her surprise and shock, what she found out was that she failed her 10th board exam. You could well imagine how she must have felt. It's like you're the smartest player on your school cricket team. You get to play for the state team and you get out on the first ball. She had failed in a subject called Hindi, our national language, and what she scored was a 18 on 100. You could well imagine how she must have felt. You go out to play, you get out on the first ball, and that too in the front of your home crowd. Not only this, what happened was she became a butt of all family grapevine and all school jokes. It was brutal. It was devastating for a 15-year-old. Her parents asked her sternly if she had actually messed up her paper. With all her confidence, she said no. When they were sure that the girl had not done anything wrong, they took her to the board headquarters at New Delhi. When they reached there, they found out long serpentine queues outside the board headquarters. There were a lot of students who faced the same fate. When they tried speaking to them, they met a boy who had scored a 0 on his math paper when he expected a full 100. They met another girl who expected more than 90% in the chemistry paper, but what she had scored was a meager 47. But then it's a board exam, and the mark sheet is the universal truth. The only allowed measure to all of them was to apply for revaluation. That is what all of them did and came back to a long wait. As expected, the revaluation result didn't come in time, and the teenager had to go for the supplementary exam. Guess what? At the supplementary exam center, she was the only candidate who had gotten a supplementary in Hindi. The invigilator looked at her critically. She felt really humiliated. You could imagine how she must have felt. It's like you go out in the cricket arena and you're about to catch a ball, and suddenly there's another fielder who comes, rams into you, and you miss out on the catch for no fault of yours. Anyways, the supplementary result came out and she scored a 75 in the supplementary exam. And as a result, what happened was that she cleared her 10th board exam, but with a supplementary mark sheet attached to her original mark sheet. The story isn't over yet. After 4.5 grueling months, she received an envelope from the Board of Secondary Education, and the envelope contained a merit certificate with a new mark sheet. The merit certificate declared that she was among the 0.001% of the meritorious students in the whole country that year. And the new mark sheet stated that her original marks were 91 on 100. When she saw that mark sheet, she was reminded of all that happened to her in the last 4.5 months. She had changed her school, she had lost some friends, she had lost some confidence and some weight too. But what she had gained was a big lesson to face the failure without fear. The story isn't over yet either. Do you remember the boy who had scored a 0 on his math paper? And he was completely grief-stricken when the girl met him on the board headquarters when she went there. She was curious to find out if the boy also got his result changed or something good happened for him. So she tried to get in touch with the boy, and she found out that the result had changed. But the boy was not there to receive the news. He took his life and gave in to the external pressures. He didn't believe in himself, but believed in those who didn't believe in him. I know this story very well because I've lived this story. I am that teenager whose perspective about life and about herself changed when she was a 15-year-old. I didn't know the word authenticity then, but I have lived in the spirit of this word since then. This whole incident got me in touch with myself. I learned about myself more than what I would have otherwise known. When I got a 18 on 100, there were a lot of people who wanted me to feel sad and guilty. When I obtained a 91 on 100, the same group of people wanted me to feel super excited. But when I thought about it, when I dived deep into myself, I realized that I neither felt guilty nor I felt super excited. And that helped me to know and discover myself better. When I tried to find out, I realized that I loved new experiences. I loved myself for loving journeys more than destination. And most importantly, I found out that I can laugh at myself. Whenever people started talking about this failure of mine, I would start talking about it first and started to laugh about it. And as I laughed when I spoke about my failure, it made me comfortable with the concept of failure, and that made me confident. Whenever I think about that boy, I always feel that I would have never done what he did. Had he faced it with a little confidence and a little humor, he would be giving a TED Talk somewhere today. If you want to glow in life, discover yourself, love yourself for who you are, and try to learn to laugh at yourself. Because self-awareness makes you your own friend, philosopher, and guide. When I discovered and befriended self-awareness, I realized that I love being an entrepreneur. I'm a startup enthusiast, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I consider my marriage to be my first startup. Because at an age of 20, I decided to marry someone whom everyone opposed. And after 21 years today, the venture is successful and is fairly valuated too, apart from my 2 other business ventures that I'm running successfully at the moment. Another learning that I had from this experience of my 10th grade was in human behavior. During those 4.5 months, a lot of my family and friends, intentionally or unintentionally, said things to me which hurt me, which humiliated me. I wanted to give it back to them. I wanted to fight it back. But I controlled my urge of anger spitting. I controlled my impulse to mirror their own behavior. I learned to self-regulate. Authenticity is not about saying out loud whatever your head says or whatever your heart feels. Authenticity is about being open, being comfortable with criticism, and being sensitive to others. During my MBA days, one of our professors gave us a small experiment to do. All the students were given different sentences, and they were told to try and speak those sentences to different people and record their responses. The sentence given to me was, "I don't like you." I was expected to go and try this sentence on different people. So I went to one of my friends and told her, "I don't like you." Immediately came the response, "Even I don't like you." Fine. I went to my another friend and said the same thing to her. "Listen, I don't like you." And she got concerned. She said, "Why? What happened? Did I do something wrong? Did I hurt you?" I didn't know how to respond to that. So I said, "I genuinely do not know." So she said, "Find out and let me know." Okay. I went to this amazing friend of mine, the third friend, and I repeated the same sentence. I said, "I don't like you." She looked at me and she said, "That's your problem. I like you." That's what authentic people do. Openly, confidently, comfortably, and sensitively. What you're seeing there is a donut. It's only a symbolic representation of self-regulation. Please do not try and eat one bite at a time for 6 days. My daughter loves donuts, and that's why she's put in this slide here. So don't try this. There was a math teacher, and he went to his class to teach arithmetic, and he showed a pen to his students and asked them, "There are 5 sheep in this pen. If one sheep comes out, how many will remain?" All the class answered correctly. There was only one child who wrote, "None of the sheep will remain." The teacher got angry and told the child, "You do not know arithmetic." The child smiled and told the teacher, "Sir, you do not know sheep." Authenticity is all about not behaving like sheep. Whenever someone tells you to do something, because everyone else is doing it, please pause and ponder. Whenever someone tells you that you do it because everyone else is doing it here and there, learn to say no to negativity, as well as learn to say no to any kind of peer pressure. My daughter has never been able to get anything by saying that everyone else has it. She got a phone also when she was in 11th grade. Only because, unfortunately, I believe in authenticity too much. Whenever I go and talk about authenticity anywhere, there's a question which is asked often. How do you stay motivated to stay authentic all the time? And I always say that in order to stay authentic, our self-awareness propels us to stay authentic all the time. Whenever we dive deep into inside of us, we get the pearl of positivity and the pearl of purpose that helps us to stay motivated. The bigger the purpose you have in life, the more motivated you feel. If you wish to score well, and if you wish to get admission in a good college, you will be working towards studying hard and also writing your applications well. But if your purpose is to know more, if your purpose is to help more, to serve more, to learn more, to experience more, to experiment more, you will be motivated to do more. If you want that there should be a fire in your belly, it will intrinsically motivate you. And at the same time, if you start thinking about some fuel to be added by extrinsic motivators, it will keep you motivated for a longer time. If you want to become a space scientist or a space explorer, what you need to do is, in order to keep you intrinsically motivated, you could read about rocket science, you could find out about space explorations. But life stories of people like Richard Branson or Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk would act as external motivators for all of you. What you need to do is to balance out your intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. If you want to glow forever, dive deep inside, discover yourself, love yourself, and don't forget to laugh at yourself. If you want to glow forever, self-regulate your behavior, especially when you want to say no. If you want to glow forever, find out your purpose beyond yourself. Success is getting what you want, and happiness is wanting what you get. I failed in my 10th grade examination. I failed to convince my parents when I wanted to marry. I failed to scale up my first venture. But in between these failures, I discovered my authentic and happy self. Anyone can. Keep glowing. Thank you.